Today, we're diving into a question that, let's be honest, can be super confusing and even painful in modern relationships. Why would a partner start looking for attention from other people online? We're going to break down the psychology behind it piece by piece. Okay, let's get right into it.
It's a tough spot to be in, right? You feel like you should be enough. So, what's with the need for validation from total strangers? This is the big question we're tackling. And the answer, well, it isn't simple. It's actually rooted deep in psychology. So, we're going to treat this like a full-on investigation. So, our investigation kicks off with our very first clue, and it takes us right inside the brain. We're talking about pure chemistry here, specifically that really powerful neurotransmitter, dopamine. This isn't necessarily about bad intentions. It's about a biological trap. Let's look at this term, variable reward reinforcement. Honestly, just think of a slot machine. You pull that lever and you have no idea if you're going to win. It's that unpredictability that makes it so ridiculously addictive. Well, guess what? Social media is built on the exact same principle. Every single post, every story, it's a pull of that lever. And here's how that addictive cycle plays out. It all starts with seeking validation. Posting a picture. Then a random like pops up. Boom. The brain gets a little hit of dopamine, that feel-good chemical. And just like any addiction, the brain immediately starts to crave another hit, which just makes you want to do it again. Your consistent attention, while so important, just doesn't deliver that same unpredictable thrill. Okay, let's move on to our second clue. We're going to shift gears from brain chemistry to the emotional climate of the relationship itself. Because look, this kind of behavior, it rarely just happens in a vacuum. It's often a symptom of something deeper, emotional distance. Think about it like this. A partner who feels seen, they feel heard, they feel valued, they feel connected to you. But when a partner starts to feel dismissed, they can feel unheard, maybe taken for granted, and that emotional bond between you can really start to weaken. So when that feeling of being dismissed really starts to set in, the brain, it subconsciously starts to pull back. It actually lowers its emotional investment, almost like a defense mechanism. It's not a conscious choice, but more of a biological reaction to feeling like you're not truly being seen or understood by your partner. And then, well, the brain starts looking for that recognition somewhere else. This brings us to our third clue, which looks inward. We've talked about brain chemistry, we've talked about relationship dynamics, and now we're going to turn to a person's core sense of self, their ego. There's a really fundamental difference here. Someone with secure self-esteem, they have this internal well of self-worth. They just don't need a constant stream of likes to feel good about themselves. But someone with a more fragile ego, they rely on outside sources for their value. Their self-worth is like a mirror that needs constant reassurance from the outside world to feel whole. All right, for our fourth and final clue, let's try to reframe this behavior completely. What if it's not always about attracting other people? What if sometimes it's actually a message and it's directed right at you, just hidden in plain sight? In psychology, this is known as information-seeking behavior. The action isn't meant to be deceptive or malicious. Instead, it's a way to gather data. It's like running an experiment to see what kind of reaction it'll get, to learn something really crucial about the state of the relationship. And this quote just nails it. It might be a test, not a manipulative game, but a genuine, if maybe misguided, attempt to answer a desperate question. Do you still see me? Do you still care enough to notice, enough to fight for this? It's a way to see if you'll reach back. So we've gathered our 4 clues: the dopamine trap, the emotional distance, the fragile ego, and that unspoken signal. Now it's time for the reveal. What's the one single core motive that ties all of these threads together? The bottom line? It's an escape. The dopamine hits, the validation from strangers, the relationship tests. They are all just tactics in a much larger strategy of escape. But the question then becomes, an escape from what? And this is the heart of it all. The escape is from an internal feeling of existential detachment. So what on earth does that mean? Well, it's this profound sense of being disconnected, almost like you're a spectator watching your own life. You feel disconnected from yourself, from your partner, from your own experiences. And that digital validation, it becomes a temporary fix, a distraction from that much deeper internal void. So we're kind of left with this question, aren't we? Are these fleeting moments of digital attention just a new kind of bandage for a much older, deeper wound? A wound of not feeling seen or valued or truly connected in the first place? It's definitely something to think about. Look, understanding these psychological drivers, That's the first step toward navigating these really complex situations with a lot more clarity. If you want to keep building a mind that understands itself and the world around it, one that's free from the manipulation of algorithms and trends, make sure you subscribe for more explainers just like this one. Thanks for joining me.